Okay, I know, of course not, right? All right, ready?
Yes.
Hey everyone, welcome to Happy Hour Knits.
Yes.
This is our knitting pod vlog.
Yes.
And we're called Happy Hour because we believe there's a happy hour somewhere all the time.
Yes.
And this is where we're going to be talking about our beverages and our knitting. Oh, I'm supposed to cheer you.
Cheers.
And our knitting adventures with you all. So,
Yamas.
yeah. So she's saying cheers in multiple languages.
Chin chin.
I am Tanika.
I'm Mary.
And we're sisters.
Yes.
And you can find me on Instagram at Tanika Knits 2. That's Tanika, T-A-N-I-K. It's on the bottom. Knits, and then the number 2. And you can
Find me also on Instagram, Mary Rainy Knits 2.
No, it isn't.
Mary Knits 2.
Yes, Mary Knits.
There you go. Mary Knits 2.
The number 2.
I'm going to tell you I'm new to Instagram. She's going to tell you I'm not.
I'm just going to say she doesn't use Instagram often, which is why she says she's new, but she's not really new.
I mean, yeah.
Right.
It's subjective. I'm still new. Because if you add the time, then I still feel like I'm new.
Okay. If you'd like to reach us on email, you can reach us at happyhourknits@gmail.com.
Yes.
But we are available. I'm also on Ravelry at Tanika2. That's Tanika and the number 2. And so, yeah, that's where you can find me if you have any questions or want to reach out to us.
Yeah.
So, again, we've already addressed why we call this Happy Hour Knits.
Yes.
Why did we start the vlog?
Well, I'm in the, I like the vlog, and I was interested in the vlog just because the community, the knitting community, is so supportive, and I was just really interested in knitting, and I just thought it'd be something fun for us to do.
Yeah.
How about you?
I agree. The knitting community is amazing. I watch other people's video logs on YouTube. And I think it's something fun to do with you.
Yeah, I agree. And she's actually got me watching other people's vlogs as well.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just a way for us to spend extra time together and do something fun that we both enjoy. So.
Exactly. And as we get older, it's getting harder and harder to find, carve out time for us to spend together. So this is just another way that we get to do that.
Yeah. So since this is our first episode, our pilot, we'd like to give you a little bit of background about ourselves.
Yep.
And how we started knitting. I guess I'll go first.
Yes.
So I started, I think it had to have been 4 years ago.
It's probably about
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I actually started because my friend who had invited me initially when she started knitting, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I crochet occasionally, which means rare, which means it's like years in between, and then maybe I'll pick it up and do like a row, and then I'll put it back down. And so anyway, she came in. I met up with her one day at Fiberspace, the knitting store in my local yarn shop, our local yarn shop.
Yep.
And I saw her cowl, and I loved her cowl, and I said, I want to knit that. And because she finally did talk me into knitting or learning to knit, and I was like, okay. So I was like, I want to knit that. And she's like, well, don't you want to start with like a flat scarf or something easier? And I was like, no, because if I do a flat scarf, I'm going to be bored and I won't finish it. And I just know me. I have to be interested and actually want the end product before I'm going to do something. So she was like, okay, we'll cast on, I think it was like close to 300 stitches. And then I was like, how do you do that? She showed me how to do it, so I casted them on. And then I was like, okay, now what? And she's like, all right, so you're going to knit this many, purl this many. And I was like, what is that? And so she showed me what knit was and what purl was. And she's like, then you follow this and you continue to do it all the way around the scarf. And I was like, that's too difficult for me to remember. I'm not going to ever remember that pattern. I think I'm just going to do 3 knits and 3 purls and figure it out because that's divided by 300 stitches and it should be even, right? And so she said, you do you. And she's like, okay, make sure that your scarf is, all your stitches are the same direction so you don't get a Mobius scarf. And I said, okay. So I laid them flat and I was like, is this right? And she's like, I don't know. Does it look right to you? And I was like, yeah, it looks fine. So I started knitting and I did it, right? So I think I get to the middle of the first I have a Mobius. And this is still my first cowl, and I was not going to take it out because then I wouldn't have done it again. And I think I had to have been doing just the red. Anyways, so I was real upset, but I was going to finish it anyways. And my mom, and I think I also dropped a stitch in here. Yep, I did.
Yes.
Anyways, so my mom's like, I'll take it. Can you make it Kansas City Chiefs colors? Because we're Chiefs fans.
Chiefs.
And so I was like, okay, so I bought the gold so she could have Chiefs colors, and she took the cowl from me. And so this was my first ever knitted project. Yeah, it was interesting, and I was happy I finished it.
But I got into knitting because of my sister. And at the time, like, we both crocheted. Our aunt taught us years ago. But the only thing I ever knew how to make was a blanket with crochet. And so my sister's over here, and she's doing knitting, and she's talking about her project, and it just sounds really awesome. And she's like, Mary, I think you'd really enjoy it. And I was like, I'm not sure. And so she taught me. And I did it for maybe a couple weeks, and I was like, I'm not feeling it. It's too hard. I can't get it. And then I picked it up maybe, like a month or two later, maybe 3 months later.
Maybe.
And I saw a project. I saw like some of her finished projects, and I was just like, oh, that's really cool. Like, maybe I didn't give it a fair shot. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it again. And I was like, oh, maybe I actually have the patience right now to learn. And I was like, Tanika, will you teach me? And she was just like, yeah, I'll teach you. And so here we are.
Yeah. And she's actually a really good student because I'm not the most patient teacher.
I think I was in tears a few times.
Probably because, again, I'm not the most patient teacher. We learn very differently.
Yes.
And again, as I said, my friend told me what to do and I just did it. And she's like, what was that again? I'm like, I just showed you. And totally understand. I just understand you.
Yes.
So, but yes, so that's how we both got started into knitting.
Yes.
She is known to not really finish projects very often. So she'll get interested in a project, pick it up, and is like, I like this. And then like, I'm tired. I'll do a scarf. And she doesn't finish it. She'll get like, maybe like this far and then puts it back down.
I mean, yeah, I start projects and I'm going to finish them. However, I just haven't finished a whole lot. And in fact, it kind of got bad in our circle because,
it did.
Yeah.
Even at Fiberspace, she was known as like the non-finisher. And so when she finally finished a project, they were like, what? She actually did that? I was like, I know, right? We're all surprised.
But talk about the class.
With
that
the
you
socks?
guys, yeah, that you guys signed me up
So
for.
she really wanted to do socks.
Yes.
That was her biggest thing is like, I want to do socks. And it's actually funny because I didn't want to do socks. But I knew she really wanted to knit socks. And so I said, okay, let's sign up for this class. It was toe up. It seemed interesting. We took the class. And I think that was the first project you actually finished.
So I did a pair of socks, which is 2 socks. I just want to make that clear. And I finished both of the socks because they were actually talking about me in the class. And they were so proud of me, like both positive and negative. But at first they were like, oh, yeah, you're doing great. Like you finished a sock, but are you going to finish the second one? Because the way the class was set up, they teach you how to knit one sock and then on your own time you knit the second sock. And so I had to prove everybody wrong. So I stuck to it. And by the end of the month, I walked in that store and I was like, I got a pair of socks.
And it's actually kind of ironic because I didn't finish the socks.
Yeah. Funny how that works out.
Yeah. It was weird. I just was not interested.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough.
But I was very excited. I told them they could graduate that name now because I can't be known as the non-finisher because I've now finished something. So
something.
That's where it starts.
A pair.
Right.
It is where it starts.
Right.
So we went into Happy Hour Knits in our name, but I don't think we talked about our drinks.
No, I don't believe we have.
What are you drinking today?
So I don't really have a name for what I'm drinking. It's kind of a made up drink, but it's really tasty because I love whiskey. So this is basically Basil Hayden, which is a good whiskey. And I also used Bitter Truths bitters. And so I used a Creole bitter and then I used an orange bitter.
That sounds good. And sparkling LaCroix.
Oh,
water.
yes. The LaCroix cherry limeade.
No, just cherry lime.
Cherry lime.
Sparkling water.
She knows.
That's good.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking a Countess Grey gin infused, kind of like a knockoff gin and tonic, but I infused Countess Grey tea in some gin, and then I put about 3 shots of gin of that mixture in, and then I topped it off with some cherry lime LaCroix water and put 3 dashes of Bitter Truth orange bitters.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's delicious.
Her drink is good as well.
And just made it up. That's also what we like to do, is just make a cocktail. So
yeah.
Yep. Another reason it's Happy Hour Knits.
Yes.
So.
Oh.
So, cheers.
We did. Yeah. Cheers.
So, I'll talk about what I'm wearing, since I'm wearing something. I don't know how much of me you can see on the TV.
Yep, you can see.
But I'm wearing the Spellman sweater by Trysten Molina. I see a lot of my chin.
You're fine.
And I love this sweater. It fits really nice. Let's see if I could kind of stand up a little bit. So I guess you can see kind of my chest area and whatever else. But I love the sweater. I love the pattern.
The color's really pretty too.
Yeah, I love Trysten. She's our BFF. So.
Yes! Shout out!
Hey, girl! Hey, BFF! Both Trysten and Christy.
Yes!
So Dragon Horde Yarn and Yarn Cafe Creations have Girls in the Yarn Cafe, and then they also have their own podcasts as well, or vlogs.
Yeah.
So, shout out to them.
Yes, they're amazing.
So I knitted her pattern, and the yarn that I used was the Periwinkle Sheep. And I should really know the colorway, but I don't. But the yarn is amazing. I used a sport weight because Trysten has it in her pattern where you do fingering and mohair. And I wasn't really sure how I felt about mohair, so I just did a sport weight sweater. So that's what I'm wearing today.
Yes, and we were supposed to knit this together. So let me just start by saying that. However, I am lagging a little bit as usual, but I'm going to get it done this year.
Yeah, you want to show your progress?
I will. So my same pattern, of course. Sorry, 1 second. I'm still in the process. But this is the color that I chose, and I loved the red and how bright it is. And here's baubles. This is my first time doing baubles. Those are not so fun, but they look really awesome. So I guess it's worth the pain and the work. And the sweater, I just love the sweater, and I love the color. Got a little lint there. Let me get that. But yes, so I'm almost there on the bottom section, and then I'm going to finish the sleeves after that. But the yarn I'm using, I can never remember the name, so I usually get the tags there.
Hazel
It's right here. I already took one out. I was just going to show people.
She's actually prepared.
Yeah, that's usually not my issue. Hazel Knits, Lively DK, and the color is Heartthrob, which is an awesome name too. And the color is red, which usually
I think the color's Heartthrob.
The color is Heartthrob, but it is a type of red, if that makes her feel a little better. Hot mess. But anyway, I usually shy away from bright colors, but I just saw this red, and I was like totally attracted, and I was just like, I'm loving it. And the inspiration, I believe, to me, was it made me think of Sabrina on Netflix, and she wears red a lot, and it's just really cute and poppy, and so it reminded me of that. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that.
Which is what she actually made this sweater off of.
Yes.
Because of. Which is actually pretty cool. And
it is pretty cool.
We do watch The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
We do.
Although I heard it was being canceled.
I heard that too.
Kind of disappointing.
We are. Netflix, if anyone from Netflix with power is watching, please bring it back.
Yeah, bring
We're just
that
saying.
back.
We're just saying.
There are other shows you could cancel, I'm sure.
I know. I would make a
not that.
list, but that's rude, so I'm not going to do that.
Right. And she has it in her yellow fringe bag.
Oh, yes.
That.
Yay. We traveled to Paris for these bags. I mean, can't do that right now.
For this one.
Yes, this particular one. Love it. I mean, I love bags anyway, but... And I only found this out because of my sister, because she's hip to all that stuff. And I usually just rely on her to tell me what I should have.
Actually, that's kind of false. So, we traveled to Paris for this bag.
That part is true then.
But Lobby and Ami, who is known for the signature yellow bag,
Yeah.
was still building her new shop.
True.
So she had the other store, we
don't speak French.
We don't speak French. So Loisivete, I don't know. Sorry. Which
we
is
can
like,
also maybe spell that out down here too.
we'll put that down there because my French is horrendous.
Yes.
Even when we went, it was horrendous.
Yes, and they called us out, but I'm not mad at you because we should have learned some.
I mean, we still tried. We
did try. Like basic words, like where's the bathroom? How much is this? Thank you, of
We're
course.
going off on a tangent though.
Yes, sorry.
So anyways.
Reeling it back in.
We went to that shop, took the train to the shop from the hotel, and they were having like a Wednesday knit night, which was cool. Awesome. Yeah. And they were drinking tea, and then they were knitting. And so I was like looking in the shop. It's a small, cute little shop, but of course they didn't have the yellow fringe bags.
Yeah.
And so when we got back home, I had to order them online and get them shipped.
And mind you, it was not easy to get to this shop from our hotel because it was all the way on the other side of Paris. And we had to take like an Uber.
No.
Train?
No. So we took the train, yeah.
Okay.
But and we had to walk
a lot.
A good grip. But it wasn't too
for
far.
a European, it's not a lot of walking, but for an American, it was quite a bit.
Doesn't live in a city where there's a lot of trains.
Right, like New York.
Right, or, other places that have better transportation than we do.
Yeah.
We're also outside of D.C., so
right.
We have trains. We just don't take them.
No, because they're not very convenient.
Unless if you live, like, in D.C. proper.
Yeah, that's true.
But we live outside of D.C.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so that's the story of the bag.
Yes.
So it came from Paris, but we went to Paris to get it, but they weren't there. And so the shop was still delayed.
Let me also say we also went to Paris for other things, not specifically the bag, but that was a bonus.
Yeah, and I was really disappointed that I was hoping that her store would have been open by then. But, oh well.
Yeah.
Such is life, and I was still able to get her yarn from her other store, so.
Yeah.
And meet great people at the knit night.
Yeah.
And kind of get to see a different part of Paris.
That was true.
So, it was really cool.
It was really cute.
Yeah, so do you want to talk about this shawl that you finished?
Okay. So, this is I believe it's the second project that I finished. It is the Byway
cabled wrap.
You just go ahead and tell them about it and I'll hold it up.
It's the Byway cabled wrap by
I'm horrible at remembering those things.
Yeah, by Jared Flood. And it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And she used the Gilliat.
French again.
Why do we keep buying French stuff?
Because they are awesome, but we just can't pronounce it.
I know, right? Her language is Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's. I can swing it in Spanish. Yeah, I speak really bad Chinese.
See, I learned a few words in Chinese.
Yeah,
Mandarin, but
you learned Chinese, like language.
I did. Yeah. She's my teacher. See.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is the seed stitch right here.
Really, is that what we're gonna do?
Sure.
Or you could just show it, right? But it's a beautiful wrap, and so it's like, it goes on for years. Years. And can you believe this was like the second thing she actually finished?
But here's the funny thing. So you're going to hear us talk about our parents from time to time. It's because they often ask for our projects. And so while I'm showing you, this is yet another one that my mom owns. Funny, starting to notice a trend here.
Yeah.
So I knitted this and I finished it, but then I gave it to her as a present, and she was super excited and she was super thankful,
grateful.
Yeah,
and she's knit worthy. Totally,
she is. Yeah,
she wears
definitely.
our knits all the time.
Yeah,
after she takes them, and she talks about us too.
Right, she does.
So she talks about how much yarn we buy.
Right.
Which we won't get into that.
Right.
But then she's like, "Oh, is that for me?"
Right.
Ooh, I want some of those.
Mm-hmm.
That's my color, and her color is every color.
Right.
That's because she's crazy.
And that's what she says. She's like, all colors are my color.
Yeah. So she took my first project.
Yes.
And then she took her second project.
Yes.
Yeah, because her first one was socks.
Right. Right. So I still love this. I actually had to go out and buy more yarn so I could actually knit myself one. But then, of course, my dad wanted one.
Yeah.
He didn't want the wrap. So the pattern, you have the choice between a wrap and a scarf. And so my dad wanted the scarf, and he wanted this burnt orange color, which is really awesome. But I'm working on that.
Same brand yarn.
Yeah.
Gilliat.
Right.
And so, I mean, going back to her normal name of the Unfinisher, she's back to that.
Right. Because I'm working on my sweater, as I showed you earlier.
Yeah. So, yeah, the sweater because Trysten had a
Knit-along.
sweater knit along
Yeah.
earlier this year, and I think it started on like January 1st,
Yes.
and she wasn't ready. So, and she's like,
I was knitting my dad's scarf.
because she was knitting our dad's scarf that
Yeah.
she still hasn't finished, and she was like, I thought we were gonna do it together. You said that that's what we were gonna do.
Because she presented it that way. She's like, Mary, there's a knit along. We should totally do it together. And I was like, that sounds awesome. I've never done a knit along before. I think I'm finally like at the place where I can do that. And so, yeah, she sold it.
Yeah. And I'm like, come Christmas time, I'm like, hey, you got your yarn? You ready? You're like, no, I'm not ready yet. I still got to do dad's scarf, which she still hasn't finished.
Right.
And so
and
I'm
he
like,
reminds me often.
He does, actually. And then I'm sitting there like, come on, Mary. Like, I'm trying to do the knit along. This is one time where I think it was from January 1st through April 1st. And I was like, 4 months.
Yeah.
I think I have the bandwidth to do a good amount and actually maybe finish it. Because I always think a lot of the timelines, for me at least, I won't be able to finish because I'm not a fast knitter. And so you'll notice through these video podcasts that we may not have a lot of new stuff, or we may continually be working on the same things.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but that's just because we're not the fastest knitters.
We're not. We're getting there, though, slowly. But
Yeah.
it takes time. So hopefully that makes other people out there who aren't necessarily speedy knitters out there feel a little better.
Yeah,
'Cause we're out here.
Yeah, and I've knit for 5 years, and I'm like super slow.
Yeah.
But
she's not super slow. Like, I'm really the snail, but she's faster than me, but
no, I just do it. So
I guess that's the key.
Yeah.
Guess it's not going to knit itself like in Harry Potter.
Right, I know.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, so that's I kind of lost my train of thought with that.
Projects, mom,
No,
knitting, slow knitting.
Oh, so the knit along that I wanted to do. So we were going. I was waiting on her, and so finally she's just like, "Fine, let's just do it come February." So February, I think we did it, and I officially finished my sweater April 7th.
Yeah,
I was very proud of myself.
Yeah, because we started a month later, and 7 days. That tells you that she's not as slow as she thinks she is.
I am. I just did it often.
Yeah.
But yes, and she's still working on hers.
I am. I technically probably, if I actually focused and did it as much as I should be doing it, I probably could have been done about 2 or 3 months ago. But it's kind of one of those things where, like, so I'm also kind of a painter, not really, but you can only paint when you're in the mood or when the mood strikes you. And so for me, knitting is kind of similar. Like, I like to knit, and it's usually my go-to, but if I'm not in the mood, I'm not going to pick it up. Probably just going to sit there and watch Netflix.
Fair. I watch knitting vlogs and knit. And that's usually what gives me the inspiration to keep it moving. So what I'm working on, because that's your whip.
Yep.
So what my whip is, what I'm working on, is the Rocket Tee by Tanis Fiber Arts.
Ooh, that's pretty.
And I'm obviously still at the beginning, or towards the beginning. Again, I'm fairly slow. So she has things. She has the stripes in the shirt, and I am using my minis, so from Advents and things like that. And so I decided to use this yarn, and then I'm using these 3 minis.
Super cute. They actually look really cute together, too.
Yeah, so I've already put the stripe of this one in, and then next it's going to be, I think, I don't remember. I asked my dad what order because no one else was giving me a good answer, so he actually just told me, and I just stuck with it, but I don't remember anymore, so I'll have to ask him again. And it'll be that. And so the yarn that I'm using is Neighborhood Fiber Co. That's the main color of the tee, and the color is Ziggy Stardust. Ziggy Stardust, and it's rustic fingering. And so love Karita from Neighborhood Fiber Co. She's
that way you
awesome.
Can see it a little better.
Yeah, and this I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I don't know if that was Fiber Space's color or not. I can't really remember. It was a couple years ago that I got it, but
Apologies.
so apologies, but that's the color Ziggy Stardust, and it's Neighborhood Fiber Co., and that's Carita, and this is what the skein looks like. Beautiful, and it's the rustic fingering. But like I said, Carita, her yarn shop, Neighborhood Fiber Co. is in Baltimore.
Yep. Also a local shop for us.
Yeah.
Well, me now.
Yeah, very
actually
much
recently moved.
Yeah, but, and then the minis that I'm using are from the Christmas Advent from Explorer Knits and Fibers. So Allie from Explorer Knits and Fibers, these are the colors from her Advent, some of them. And so these are the ones that I'm using for this rocket tee. So that is my whip. I'm also working on some socks that I don't have right now. So
She can show them next time.
I'll show them next time.
Yeah.
But other than that, anything else going on or anything we want to talk about or probably not too much.
Go out and vote.
Go vote, please.
Yeah. Regardless of whatever party. We're not here to discuss that necessarily, but just go vote.
Yeah. Your vote counts.
Yep.
We we definitely believe that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I felt like the camera was moving.
It's okay. Had to do a little adjustment technically.
Yeah. But also, our plan is to probably pop on maybe twice a month.
Yeah.
Every other week is what we're going for.
If there's anything specific you want us to mention or talk about or go over.
Or you have any questions or comments or things like that. If we say too many times or if I do that and it bothers you.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to be mean about it, but you can still tell me.
We like to take constructive criticism. I
Yeah.
mean, well, no one likes it, but, you know, we're willing to be accepting of it.
Yeah. And if you have any comments or suggestions or if the video's too dark
Yeah.
or you can't hear us,
Yes.
let us know.
Please.
We're definitely we're new at this, so we're going to hopefully get better with time.
Yeah.
But as I said before, our plan is to come on twice a month, every other week.
Yes.
And and meet with you all and talk to you all.
Yeah.
So feel free to reach out to us on Instagram. Again, it's right here, Tanika Knits 2.
And what she said.
Mary Knits 2.
That's what she said.
And then if you have any questions, you could reach us through email too on happyhourknits@gmail.com. So we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So we're back in the future. Woo! This is us.
Yes.
Like, I changed because I was hot.
Anyways,
So in my whip, I totally forgot to say what bag my whip was in.
Yes.
This is a pre-stash dash bag. So it's pre-stash dash, but Kelsey, who is the owner of Stash Dash, she creates bags. I don't know if she has any like this. She might have something, but I don't know if it's this fabric. Anyways, she's the one that taught me taught me how to knit, and she made me the bag for, I think it was my birthday.
She's awesome too.
Or Christmas, and she is awesome.
Yeah.
And so this is the bag, and as you can see, it has a nice little blue zipper. This is one of her like earlier bags before she like had her company. And then the inside lining is like blue. There are no pockets in this one, but she has a lot of bags, and they're awesome. And from time to time, you'll probably see them on here because I got quite a few of them. But yeah, so go check her out, Stash Dash. And she's also on Instagram as Stash Dash. So, awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. So, you ready to get started? Why are you laughing though?
I don't know. Oh.
I already hit record.
Oh, hey. Okay then.
That was so horrible.